Vanakkam. This is hyderali Syed from Asivagam, United under Tamil Shiva.
I just want to ask a question, sorry. I know you mentioned the children of Israel many times. Who are the children of Israel? Are the children of Israel the people of Moses when they were enslaved by Pharaoh?
Children of Israel is actually Ibrahim. Ibrahim had two wives, Sarah and Hagar. From Hagar we have Ismail, and from Sarah we have Isaac, and from Isaac we have Yaqub, and Yaqub pet name is Israel, and Israel had 12 sons.
Wait. Wasn't Abraham's son Ismail?
Yeah, he's from Hagar, na. Just write it down. Just make it a note. Ibrahim.
No. You said Isaac and Jacob, but that's Arabic. Ismail, right?
Yeah. Ibrahim had two wives, Sarah and Hagar. Hajra. Okay. Hajra. From Hajra we have Ishmael. Okay. From Sarah we have Isaac. From Isaac we have Yaqub. And Yaqub pet name is Israel. And Israel had 12 sons. And Surah Yusuf talks about how the 12 sons went to Egypt, and during the timeline of Moses, those 12 family which had become a big colony, how they took permission from Pharaoh and they left that land and they went back to their promised land. This is the story at that time, and Moses is one of the 12 tribe of house of Israel.
Okay. So the children of Israel was basically
12 brothers.
Kids, or 12 kids. 12 kids bloodline.
Yeah, and if you read Quran chapter Yusuf, how Yusuf was put into the well and how the traders took him to Egypt, he was sold. Yeah. And then famine came in, and how the 12 brothers.
7 years in jail he did.
Yeah, that's all
and
the story.
12 brothers came back,
and the 12 brothers united, and then they lived in Egypt for more than many years. And then Pharaoh came to know that Moses is going to be born and he's going to take back children of Israel. So that Pharaoh at the time of Moses, he started killing all the male children and he left female children. And ultimately what happened, Moses was born and he was born and brought up in the house of Pharaoh. And when he saw his own people suffering, he killed one of his Pharaoh soldiers and he left. He fled from that land, and then God spoke to Pharaoh Moses, and he took Harun, and he both went to Egypt again to meet Pharaoh. And after many requests, and after God sent many of the atrocity on the Pharaoh people, then ultimately Pharaoh gave permission for the children of Israel to leave the land. So this is what the story is. And this was a story, and then later on the Philistines, the Romans and the Persians, all these people are attacking them.
So I know Moses tapped the water, then they went through the water. Where did they go after that? Egypt, where did they go after that?
So somewhere around Arabia line is there. There is Arabia, from Arabia there is a land is there. Then they went to Philistine, somewhere in the Middle East, somewhere there. So this is the history.
And that's when the King Saul came and David came and Saul.
No, that's later on. That timeline is very different. This the Moses timeline is something far away, and David timeline is around 932 BC, and that's the time when Philistines took over the land, and they were making them as a slave, because they were technical people now, because they had some art and craft. So the people used to respect them, and they were enslaved by the Philistine. So when that's why you read the Quran, they were made slave and they were working day and night for them. So ultimately, Saul became the first king. David killed Goliath, and they got freedom from Philistine. And their first administration house was at Jerusalem, and from there they ruled their land. And ultimately the Romans also came in and they attacked 54 times Jerusalem, and ultimately by the time of Jesus Christ the Ark of Covenant went missing, and those children fled from the land and took refuge in Mecca. And when Prophet Muhammad came, he reunited the clan and they fought against the Roman Empire, Persian Empire. This is the history.
The hadiths like Bukhari, I don't know if this is true, they said Prophet Muhammad was like a warlord. He chopped off people's heads. And a lot of Muslims, they didn't defend themselves. They went and killed other people. Is that true?
No, no, nothing, nothing like that. Because see, the people who lost the empire were the Persians, and Persians are Iranian people, and the Iranian wrote all these stories. That's the reason why they criticize Umar, Abu Bakr, Ali, Fatima, Aisha, everyone. They are portraying them in a bad thing about these people. They're writing lots of.
So why is it in the Hadith of Bukhari? That's what someone said. It's in Bukhari that he chopped off 100 heads.
So they want to spread rumors about Prophet Muhammad because they lost the empire, na. See, two superpower are there. Today, suppose Russia lost everything, will he not be criticizing America?
Yeah, but I have another question too.
Yeah.
In Islam, Allah says in the Quran that do not kill them unless they kill you. But people said a lot of Muslims came on the offensive and they attacked another empire themselves. They
No,
were
no, no,
defending
no, no,
themselves.
no. If they wanted, they could have attacked Jerusalem and took the Jerusalem from that time. But they made a border that after this, you people don't enter into Hijaz region. We will not enter your land. But it was Cyrus actually, the Cyrus who sent 1 lakh letter to Hussein stating that you come to Iran and teach me Islam. So when Hussein went to Kufa, the Cyrus people, they genocide his whole family, and then when he realized that they have done a wrong thing, the whole Cyrus people, they fled from Iran and they settled in Gujarat, where today the Parsi community you see, they are all from that bloodline.
Muslims that just attack people.
No. See,
lies about that.
See, first
So
of all,
I have a question. I have a question too. A lot of like non-Muslims or atheists that hate on Islam, they say that like Muslims took tax money from the Jews and Christians. Is that true? I think there's a verse in the Quran that said they took tax money from them.
Jews and Christians, first of all, you should understand what is Jew, what is Christian, what is children of Israel, who are people of the book, who are the Muslims. These are the 5 terms which are used commonly in the Quran. So the first is Jew refers to Persian, Christian refers to Roman. Okay. Christian refers to Roman. If you can Google it out, Hadith, I'm talking from Bukhari, Hadith number 7319. Just Google it out, you will find it.
There's like a verse in the Quran that says they took tax money, like people said they took protection money from them.
No.
Jizya, Hyderabad. He's talking about jizya.
Okay. Establish salat and pay zakat means establish a government system and to run the government, pay taxes. This is what the Quran is talking about. So if some outsiders are living because since in the traditional way of life, everyone knows about the Coel system or the administration system and how the administration used to run. Because most of the Indian society, all their wealth was kept in the Coel, and whenever these Caucasians looters they came in India, they looted the temple. You must have heard of that, na? Because it was actually more of a bank. So when Mecca became the new administration for House of Israel, so all the wealth and everything was kept over there, and people who wants to live under the administration, they have to follow the rules of the land, na?
No, it wasn't like protection money.
No, it's not a protection money. It's a government tax. If you want to work.
Okay.
So it's a government tax. See, without tax,
okay.
You're getting the point. See, in India, we have lots of Coel, and all the Coel were actually the administration center, and it was more like a bank where all the.
So they tax everyone. They even tax the Muslims too.
Everyone who is living.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because everyone has to live by, because government is run because of the tax, na? It's not a kingdom. Islam is not based on kingdom. It's based on Khalifa system.
The tax, Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Muslim has to give the tax, and the non-Muslim they are giving jizya because the government is protecting them. They are in their land.
Yes,
that's what I was talking about, jizya. That's what people were saying. They said they give jizya. There is a word in Quran, jizya.
Yeah.
And zakat for Muslim. If you are wealthy, that money you have to help the poor.
Bharti. The thing is, here we should not see as per Muslim Christian thing, because the whole story rotates around family of Ibrahim. So when the new when the new administration was established, so to run the administration, you need to have taxes, na? So if some outsiders also coming under your protection, means those people who are.
That makes sense. That makes sense because a lot of people were taking the verses and trying to destroy Islam. They said that the Muslims took money for them.
No. Like for example, the Roman Empire, Persian Empire, those who had what you say free, everyone has a free will. When they saw all this happening, many of them people said, we don't want to go back to their land. We want to live under your protection. So that's the reason why, and Quran is very clear in chapter 9. If you read the whole thing, teach them the word and to send and locate them to the place of safety. In chapter 9, some verses there right in the beginning.
So it wasn't protection money. It was a new administration. They had to pay the taxes.
Yeah. And they were supposed to live outside the land, not among the society.
So did they live among the society or outside the land?
Outside the society.
Oh, okay.
So to protect them, they used to take some money from them. So it was more of a protection money, but they were not inside the city because as per the Quran, the Caucasians are not allowed to enter into the Hijaz region, and those Caucasians whose heart was toward Islam or towards the tradition way of life, so they didn't want to go back to the Roman Empire, Persian Empire, so they stayed back with Prophet Muhammad, and Prophet Muhammad gave them certain land to live, and based on their occupation or something, some money they used to give it to the Prophet Muhammad, so that the welfare of the society can be taken over, na? Because kingship is not kingship is not in Islam, in the traditional way of life. It is only the people, all the tribe used to get together and they used to do administration. So, and to run the administration, you have to have some money, na?
Okay, that clears up a lot. Thank you, Jazakallah, for that, because a lot of people were saying like, oh, we killed people, we stole their money and stuff like that. So there's a lot of misconfusion about that.
No, that's all. See, people who lost their empire, they wrote, because those people wrote all this history and they tried to sabotage the character of Prophet Muhammad and Abu Bakr, Aisha and everyone. So people who were in power.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, people who are in power.
So how do we know which history is right and which history is wrong?
Quranic history is because if you read Quran and you seek guidance from God, Allah will guide you. And based on every ayat is there, try to get connected with previous book through hadith. Everywhere, we should not limit your boundaries. You should look everywhere. As a seeker, you have to.
So in the Quran, Hadith, Bible, we look at Torah. But then where else do you get your history then? You get it online, right?
Encyclopedia is there. Then tradition, everything is now available on net. But based on.
But how do we know which history is right?
That God will guide you, na?
Okay.
Because ultimately we have a soul, and when we get connected with God, the God guidance is always there, whether what is right and what is wrong. And there is a Satan whisperer also, which will always be telling you, no, he's wrong, and the heart will say he's right. So there will be always a conflict.
Haidar bhai, Allah is God. Both are same or different?
God and Allah both are same. It's just a language differ. Only language difference.
I was gonna ask you, sorry too. So how do we not go to hell? Like we just don't listen to the whispers of shaitan, the devil. That's it. And
if you defeat Satan, you have won the battle. Because ultimately
so how do you defeat Satan?
If you don't listen to him, if you eliminate the whispers.
So like do zina.
No. First of all,
drinking.
No, that's first of all you should eliminate Satan whisper. The thoughts which is coming in your mind, talking about past and future. If you are sitting at one place, you will be thinking of something or the other, and that thought.
So you're not talking about like zina or drinking.
The first thing that comes afterward. First is Satan whisper. If you are praying in the namaz, are you blank or are you thinking of something?
You're thinking of something.
So that's Satan whisper.
Well, but isn't it like there was a hadith where like the Sahaba came up to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, they're like, we feel sad, we keep getting their thoughts, and he said, well, those are the whispers of shaitan. As long as you don't act on it, it's okay to have those thoughts.
But no, it's okay, but we have to eliminate them. God has given us the part how to eliminate Satan whisper also. So that's why we do
so
meditation.
Sometimes I think about my future. So
that's what Satan will
How
tell
do
you.
I get-
So tell you about past and future.
but how do you get rid of that? Isn't that just a human thing? Your brain working like, oh, I need to work, I need to make money, I gotta get this job.
So that's what meditation for. When you focus, when you do focus on something, you will only live in present. And when you are living in present, you will do everything perfectly.
Yeah.
So
like you don't think about the future.
no, I don't think.
So
I'm just doing my part. What I have to do today and what I'm doing. I'm totally 100% focused on what I am talking today with you. I'm not thinking who are you, what are you. I'm not. I have no negative feeling about you or no any fear also.
so you don't. But you also think about today's future. Like, oh, later today I'm gonna do this, right?
That's a routine actually. If you
Or no?
make a chart that you have to do,
Okay.
that's a chart. That's a timetable. If you go to school, there will be different subjects. Timetable will be there. So that's a timetable.
So you don't think in 2 years I'm gonna be here? Like, you don't think like that?
No, I don't think.
That's haram. That's haram to do.
Because see, when you are living in the moment and next breath, if it doesn't come, you are dead, na. So why you want to make a plan?
No, but then you make the plan so you don't live on the streets.
See, when we have a government which take care of our needs, why we have to live in fear then? Governments are here for the welfare of the people, na? Not for the welfare of some syndicate, na?
But the government doesn't get you the house or get you the car and stuff like that.
That's the work of the government. To give us because we have to follow the government rules and regulation. They should protect us. They should give us security. Like in the Europeans, before that, when they entered into the world of spiritualism, they used to get all this benefit from the government. Up till 18 years, they used to get all this education fund, everything they used to get.
But half of the money is little, and you live in a bad place, but you want to move to a better place. So don't you kind of have to think about your future?
For that improvement, you have to unite with the people, and you try to persuade the government to change the location. So you have to force the government. That's why Quran, Surah Jummah, when you read, that's the reason why Jummah means when the call, because Jummah is behind the appointed minister, Khalifa. So when the call of Jummah is there, leave your trade and go to attend the session, parliament session, because if certain rules and regulations are made, which will affect you in future, na? You don't have to just vote for one time. After 5 years, you vote, and then ruling and the opposition and the syndicate, they loot the entire country. This is not Islamic. So every week, all the people should attend the parliament session and see to that the government doesn't make rules and regulations which are not good for local people. You're getting the point?
Okay, that makes sense. So to destroy the whispers of Shaitan, the first thing you do, don't think about the past, because you were just a kid and you couldn't change that, and you can't change the future because only Allah knows how to do that.
Yes, you have to live in the present moment.
Okay, and then what goes after that? You don't have
Satyugam prolonging due to four-beastly regime disguised as Muslim world. Satyugam possible only through straight path of first Siddha Tamil Shiva. Nandri Vanakkam.